male gangsters may be two a penny, female hired hands are not. It's rare to find a woman going toe-to-toe with the guys in the gang, but then Abigail Saxon is an exception.
I was a very hardened young girl, like most young girls, right? But this time is that, nowadays young girls are turned to boys. I did not. Just that my friends and I, we were just liming, and these guys pull up on us and they say, "What are you doing?" Well, I was always the hottie. And we talk. I was about 14 years old, 13, 14, when I started. And they said, "We have a job for you." I said, "Once you playing big money." So, okay.
Which area were you living in?
Laventel, that's in Chumakak. And it's like, okay, we talk. And then, but they had no idea that we were so young because we were like biggie. And we talk, and then they say, "Well, look here, what? This is what we do. We kill people. We do this, we do that." And I like, "So we tell me your business for? Who you want to kill, you kill?" And he liked me just then. And, well, I held my first firearm. Wow, that felt strange. They taught us how to use it and whatnot. And after that, it was hell break loose. That life, it was fun because I didn't know nothing about that. My mother used to be like, "You're going again, you got to meet Big Pim Susie." Yes, because she said, "I'm going to get myself in prison." "What you doing?" Because sometimes nights I go and I come back late. Mom will talk to me and I would not listen. Well, the young girls now just go to boys. I went to guns. But
Did the guys tell you what exactly they wanted you to do with these?
they wanted us to what happened, he had several cocaine blocks in Mover. Right, and he wanted us to take charge of some of the blocks, collect the money, and then what happened? People used to pay cover tax, and I was automatically, because of the type of work that I was doing, I become his right hand woman. Right, so well, bringing in his money. Once he get his money, and I was like, no nonsense. Because the things he used to want us to do, his right-hand man didn't even have the belly, and he liked it for somebody my age and a woman. I had the ability to do anything, and he was like, "Yes, it's somebody like you I want around me. Somebody like you I want around me."
What did he ask you to do that his right-hand man wouldn't do?
Well, here what? It's either you're dead or you're badly wounded. One out of the two. And when we finish with them people, they can't even tell our identity, right? But it wasn't nice. But I sit down and I look at my life then and my life now. And I was telling somebody just last week that if I had continued the way that I was going, I would have been dead. Oh no, I would have been dead. Because remember, you'll be bad today, but somebody coming up to be badder than you tomorrow.
Tell me about how it felt as a woman, because we're generally more emotional, aren't we? And we're softer, generally.
Okay.
So generally.
Okay.
So you didn't bother you to inflict violence on somebody?
Well, after a time it did. Right? But then again, I am getting that exposure, and then on top of that, my salary was nice. Okay. All right, my salary was real nice. I had want or need of anything financially or otherwise, because of how I will do my thing. And look, most of the time I used to operate with the right hand man by myself or one other guy. All right, I never liked it a crowd, so most of my work used to be clean. I left no evidence and no witnesses. So when I done do my thing, that's it. Nobody could say they so.
So you spent 4 to 5 years in this, deeply involved, you would say. How did you get out of it? Did you choose to get out of it?
Not really, no. It was at the time, really. It was fun. Knowing that you're having your own money. And when you work, well, in those times, $1,000 was like real money. And I used to get $2,000-3,000 and I have all this money there just doing nothing. So it got nice. It got nicer and nicer because the money start coming in more. The more jobs I do, the more money I get, the more money I bring in, the more money I get. And according to how many blocks I pass and pick up money, I get a percentage out of that. So it was nice. And then I have to pass and pick up cover tax. And if you don't pay cover tax, well, then you have to deal with me.
Tell me what were some of the things that you would do if somebody refused?
Oh my God. They have to pay. If they don't pay, I start to take off a limb.
A limb?
A limb. A limb could be a finger or a wrist. And that's just a warning.
Would you tie them up?
No, for what?
So how would you take off this?
Easy. Take a knife, rest your hand on a table, and take it off.
Did you have people with you to stop them
I
from
had
beating
one.
you?
They did free. They free the guy that I was working for, even though. And once they hear I was coming, that was it. That was it. Because apparently, I had made a name for myself for those who knew. And once they know that his right-hand woman coming, that is it. They either pay if they give me any old story, is because I'll take a limb.
While Abigail initially reveled in her gruesome deeds, after a few years she wanted out. Her prayers were only answered when the gang leader died. Still, the magnitude of the pain she'd inflicted was haunting.
I have a lot to thank God for, and I have a lot of forgiveness to beg for, because I've done a lot of people a lot of wrong, right? And now that I'm older, I understand, well, look, I have brought a lot of people pain, right? Now that I understand the amount of pain I brought people, because when I see it from my own point of view, the pain I felt when I lost a relative, right? I understand the pain them people felt at the time when they lost their relative, and when I do the relative what I did, right? But thank God for small mercies, really.
Jar David and Abigail Saxon, two people who made it out of the underworld despite the odds. But there are others who once lived a life of crime, who suffer the consequences way beyond prison and the threat of assassination, or of a guilty conscience. Chris Smith, a Trinidadian deportee who lived the life of an outlaw in New York City, spent nearly a decade in a U.S. jail before being sent back home to Trinidad. He'd migrated to the U.S. at the age of 16. Some 3 decades later, American marshals dumped him back on home soil, and his life continued to freefall.
I came back to Trinidad January the 24th, 1989. First place I could get help with my father. I went by him. He lived in Londonville. When he see me, he was happy, but he was sad to hear.
So he got reported, didn't he?
Yeah. But he upset me. He keep me home. But he get to dislike me because when I come back, I started smoke weed and thing. He get dislike me for that. He tell me he afraid police go lock him up, you know. I smoking weed in the house and thing.
Right.
So he tell me I can't stay in the house if I had to do that, you know.
After that, Chris's life hit the pavement, literally.
And I leave there, the first place I gotta go is Port of Spain. Because I used to be in Port of Spain as a young fella. Yeah, I used to sleep all over in town. Yeah, in Port of Spain, I started sleeping on the side of the bank, and I used to sleep in George Street in the plannings, but I didn't go back on George Street. I didn't go on Nelson Street. And I stayed down on Independence side, and I started to sleep inside the bank, watch where people sleeping and girl sleep next to them. This old man, they call him Billy. He started introduce me to cocaine. I started smoke cocaine and thing with him. Plus I was smoking weed. I used to feel like when I smoke weed, I used to feel like I want to jump off the building. And it was a high building. You know, I used to feel like I want to jump off, but you know, all that I feel like I want to jump off, something still holding me back not to jump because I sure with the death, you know. And plus by thing talking inside me, I do this and do this and do this. You know.
Chris, homeless for some 13 years, now sleeps on the streets of Chaguanas with little prospect of ever having a family or a home, the simple but precious things of life. He is but one of many who, according to Wayne Chance, has fallen through the cracks. There are many more like him. There may be many more to come.
Everything is gone. The children no longer have any fun. Time for the war to dawn. Mr. King, High Red family. Yeah. When Nelson war in John and Picton war Dan Kellyman. Yeah, picking up shells was never part of my plan. Put down the guns, we need some love in the land.